Hello students, welcome back to Career Power Hyderabad powered by Adda 24/7. So students, today we'll see the important current affairs, but before going into the video, please subscribe our YouTube channel, like and share our videos, join the Telegram channel and download the Career Power Hyderabad app. We'll provide the links in the description as well as comment section below. So let us see the first current affair for today. So Union Education Minister Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan, so he launched a 100-day reading campaign called Pade Bharat. So this campaign is in alignment with the National Education Policy 2020, which gives emphasis on the promotion of joyful reading culture among children by ensuring availability of age-appropriate reading books for children in their local, mother tongue, regional and tribal languages. Okay, so this program is mainly to encourage students, children to read, to have a joyful reading. So this program will focus on children from nursery age to class 8, grade 8. So it's a total 100-day program organized for 14 weeks starting from January 1st to April 10th. Okay. So in this program, children, teachers, parents, community, educational administrators all will be taking part in this program and they'll support this program. So one activity per week per group will be designed and will be focusing on reading enjoyable, building a lifelong association with the joy of reading. So this campaign is aligned with the vision and goals of foundational literacy and numeracy mission. So which is mainly to inculcate the reading skill among the young people. Okay. So the importance of reading, the Minister Dharmendra Pradhan, he said that the importance of reading will make children to make them ensure a continuous and lifelong learning process. So he also reinforced that the habit of reading, if inculcated at an earlier age, helps in brain development, enhances the imagination and provide a conducive learning environment for children. So this is about Pade Bharat program launched by Dharmendra Pradhan. So PM Modi, he laid foundation stone for Major Dhyan Chand Sports University at Meerut. So with a total cost of 700 crore rupees, this particular sports university is being laid at Meerut city. Okay. So this university will have a capacity of training nearly 1080 sportsmen, which include 540 female and 540 male sports persons. So this sports university will be equipped with the modern state-of-art sports infrastructure for various games. So all the facilities for various games will be present in this university. So it is held in UP. So UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath, Governor Anandibhen Patel. So government approved the 19th tranche of electoral bonds. So electoral bonds will be open for sale from January 1st to January 10th. So due to the elections in the upcoming 5 states, Uttar Pradesh, Uttarakhand, Punjab, Himachal Pradesh, Goa, so electoral bonds are issued by Government of India. So these bonds are issued by the State Bank of India. State Bank of India is authorized to issue and cash the electoral bonds through its 29 specialized branches. And there is no limit the number of bonds a particular company can purchase. So let us discuss what is electoral bond. So electoral bond is an instrument for making donations to political parties. So generally companies, industries, individuals, they make donations to political parties. So in order to make them online, streamlined, to make it in white, government has launched these electoral bonds where companies or individuals, they can buy these bonds from State Bank of India, they can give it to the political parties. Okay. So donations can be made in the form of 1,000, 10,000, 1 lakh, 10 lakhs, 1 crore without any maximum limit. So State Bank of India is only authorized to issue these bonds. So these bonds have a validity of 15 days. So these bonds can be redeemable in a designated account of the registered political party. Any person can buy these bonds either singly or jointly with other individuals, and donor's name is not mentioned on the bond. Okay. So these electoral bonds are alternative to the cash donations to bring transparency in the political funding system. So that is electoral bond. Okay. So launched by SBI, and SBI established 1955, headquarters Mumbai, Chairman Dinesh Kumar Kara, tagline Suraksha aur Bharosa dono. So world's largest metro network is launched in Shanghai in China. So Shanghai recently launched 2 new metro rails. With this, now Shanghai has the largest metro network in the world. So it is a total 831 km wide, and the city now enjoys 20 metro rails with 508 stations, 83 of which are transfer ones. So China capital Beijing and China largest city is Shanghai. China currency renminbi, president is Xi Jinping. This is the flag of China, and China is our Indian neighbor. So please remember. So again, China is in news because China launched a 5-year plan to become the hub of world robotics innovation. So by 2025, China wants to be a global robotics innovation hub. So China's Ministry of Industry and Information Technology they revealed the operating income from country's robotic industry is expected to grow by 20% per year between 2021 to 2025. So in the last 4 years, 2016 to 2050, I mean 5 years, the rate of average growth was 15%. For the next 5 years, they are targeting as 20%. Okay, and also the operating income from this particular industry is nearly $15 billion. So by 2025, China wants to become a worldwide robotics innovation center, concentrating on improvements to essential components such as servo motors and control panels. As per the 2021 World Robot Report, South Korea, Singapore, Japan are the top 3 automated countries in Asia Pacific. China want to dominate this list. So China capital Beijing, currency renminbi, President Xi Jinping, this is the flag of China, China is India's neighbor. So Odisha launched a digital life certificate system for pensioners. So Odisha Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik, he launched an online service for verification of identity and submission of life certificate for pensioners of the state government. So in order to get a pension, the state government retired employees, they need to submit life certificate every year. So this certificate is now made digitally. So no need to go to any public office. You can do it online. So because of these COVID conditions, Odisha government has brought this digital certificate, life certificates. Okay. So using artificial intelligence based video verification process, so without visiting any government office, all the pensioners can submit their details. So these facilities are also available at the Mo Seva Kendras. Okay, and this introduction of digital life certificate and e-diary are a part of government 5T policy. So 5T means teamwork, technology, transparency, transformation, time limit, on which performance of government officials projects are judged. Okay, and Mo Sarkar, so Mo Sarkar is mainly to bring a professionalism, behavioral change in public office through a direct random feedback system from the citizens. So Odisha Governor Ganesh Lal, Chief Minister Naveen Patnaik. So UP's Jhansi railway station is now renamed as the Viranga Lakshmi Bai railway station. So Yogi Adityanath, Chief Minister of UP, so you know UP is going into elections very soon. That's why there will be change of names of the railway stations or cities. So Jhansi railway station is now called Lakshmi Bai railway station. So UP government has given a notification, so railways are preparing to implement this change. And recently Mogalasari railway station is named as Deen Dayal Upadhyaya railway station. Faizabad is named as Ayodhya, and now Jhansi as Lakshmi Bai, and also Allahabad was renamed as Prayagraj. So these are the name changes done by UP. Plus please remember, so UP CM Yogi Adityanath, Governor Anandibeen Patel. So Vinay Kumar Tripathi is the new chairman and CEO of Railway Board. So he is currently the general manager of Northeast Railway. He is appointed as the chairman and CEO of the Railway Board. Okay, so he will take charge from January 1st. He'll continue in this position till 31st December. So Mr. Tripathi has a wide experience in railway management and administration. So he played a very vital role in bringing the 3-phase locomotives and their indigenization. So which is now the workhorse of Indian Railways, 3-phase locomotives or engines, train engines. Okay, so the chairman of the Indian Railway Board is the administrative head of Indian Railways, so which functions under the control of Parliament through the Ministry of Railways. So the chairman is also the ex officio principal secretary of the Ministry of Railways, and also this particular railway board was established in 1922, and later in 1951 the chief commissioner is replaced by chairman. Okay, so this is about the chairman. So next the MD and CEO of Jammu and Kashmir Bank is Baldev Prakash. So Baldev Prakash was appointed for 3 years, and also R.K. Chibi was appointed as the additional director on the bank. So Baldev Prakash, CEO, MD, CEO, additional director R.K. Chibi. Okay, so Jammu and Kashmir Bank established 1938, headquarters is in Srinagar, tagline serving to empower. So V.S. Patanya, he is now the Director General of Indian Coast Guard. So he is the 24th Director General of Indian Coast Guard. He took the charge from Krishnaswamy Natarajan, who retired recently. So in the career of 36 years, Patanya, so he held several important appointments. He worked in the afloat and ashore commercial, these naval vessels, in the Coast Guard vessels. So he served in various Coast Guard vessels, both inshore and offshore patrol vehicles, and he was elevated to the rank of Additional Director General in 2019, where he was the Coast Guard Commander of Eastern Seaboard at Visakhapatnam. He also received the President Takshark Medal for Distinguished Service, for Gallantry, and Director General Coast Guard Commendation Awards. So now he will be the new Director General of Indian Coast Guard. So let us discuss about Indian Coast Guard. It's a maritime law enforcement search and rescue agency of India with a jurisdiction across the territorial waters, including the exclusive economic zone. So this Coast Guard operates under Ministry of Defence. They mainly are responsible for marine environment protection and also coordinating authority for oil spills in Indian Ocean or the Indian waters. So Indian Coast Guard established 1978, headquarters is in New Delhi. Motto is we protect. So SBI card and payment services, they have tied up with Paytm for card tokenization scheme. So SBI will now collaborate with Paytm. It will enable the cardholders to tokenize their cards and devices and make payments through Paytm. So tokenization means masking the original card number and replacing it with a set of unique characters termed as token, which secures the customer's card details when a transaction is under process. Okay, so that is tokenization. So SBI card established 1998, headquarters is in Gurugram. So there is difference between card and bank. Bank is different, SBI card is different. So Paytm established 2010, headquarters is in Noida, CEO is Vijay Shekhar Sharma. So RBI extended the deadline for periodic KYC's Know Your Customer update till March 31st. The earlier deadline is December 31st. Due to the Omicron COVID-19 variant chaos in India, so the deadline was extended for 3 more months till March 31st, 2022. So the updating KYC is required generally as a part of anti-money laundering initiatives. Okay, so entities like finance companies, mutual funds, brokering houses, depositors, they follow these KYC norms. Okay, so the customers they need to update their KYCs. So customers in low risk accounts, they need to update their KYC every 10 years. High risk accounts, they need to update their KYC every 2 years. You need to update your KYC. If you are a high risk account, every 2 years, low risk account every 10 years. Generally, like students, for us, it will be just 10 years. Once you need to update your bank details, your address, your details and all, phone number, and email ID, everything. So like dormant and inactive accounts, bank accounts, if you want to reinitiate them, you need to unfreeze or to reactivate them, you need to do this KYC. So this KYC extended till March 31st, 2022. Given by RBI. So RBI established 1935, headquarters is in Mumbai, Governor is Shaktikanta Das. So GST collection in the month of December is 1.29 lakh crores. So 1.29 lakh crores is the GST collection in the month of December. So this is 13% higher than last year. Okay, and in November the GST collection is 1.31 lakh crores. So November it is more than December. So out of the December 1.29 lakh crores, central GST is 22,000 crore. State GST 28,000 crore, integrated GST 69,000 crore, cess is 9,000 crores. Okay, let us see the list of entire GST collections in the previous month. November 1.3 lakh crore, October 1.3, September 1.1, August 1.12, July 1.16, June 92, very least low, May 1 lakh, April 1.4, the highest in April, March 1.2, February 1.13, January 1.19. So please try to remember the GST collections, very important. So GST is a tax on goods and services. Okay, so it's a single tax across the nation. France is the first country to implement GST in 1954. India implemented GST in 2017. So please remember, very important. So Tech Mahindra, it is going to acquire 100% stake in Allies India and Green Investments. So these two are companies where Tech Mahindra is acquiring for 125 million US dollars. So this acquisition will boost Tech Mahindra's capability in digital experience solutions, learning and development, marketing, instrumental design, engineering, business intelligence and analysis, technical support services. So Allies India and Green Investment, they are technology consulting and managed services. They generally provide technology consulting and managed services for organizations to reduce their cost, improve performance and meet their objectives. So Tech Mahindra launched in 1986, headquarters is in Pune, founder is Anand Mahindra, the current CEO is CP Gurnani. So please remember, very important. So according to the Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India, LIC, life insurance, general insurance, New India insurance, so all these three are domestic systematically important insurance for the year 2021-2022. So domestic systematically important insurance means these companies are such a size, such market importance and domestic and global interconnectedness that these if they have distress or failure, they will bring a collapse in the entire insurance sector. If these companies are collapsing, this will lead to the collapse of the entire insurance sector. So these insurance companies are called too big or too important to fail. If they fail, it is a failure of the entire system. So these are very important, critical in availability of insurance services. These insurance services need to carry forward their efforts to raise the level of corporate governance, identify all the relevant risks, promote a sound risk management framework and culture. So that is why these three insurance companies are very important: LIC, GIC and New India. So this list is given by the Insurance Regulatory Development Authority of India, which is established in 1999. Headquarters is in Hyderabad. Chairperson is Subhash Chandra Kuntia. So please remember. So LIC Life Insurance Company has launched a Disease Zone to sell policies online. So in Bandra Kurla complex in Mumbai, they have brought up this Disease Zone. It's a kiosk where customers can purchase policies, they can purchase online, they can pay the premium online, they can avail other services also. Okay. So LIC as a part of being a tech-driven life insurer, they are providing information related to products and services to their kiosks which are installed on the Disease Zone premises. Okay. So like SBI, which has a set of ATMs and cash deposit machines and the passbook kiosk machine, LIC also brought this kiosk, Disease Zone kiosk in their Mumbai complex. So mainly to do everything online, paperless. So LIC chairman Amar Kumar, founded in 1956, headquarters is in Mumbai. So Danish Siddiqui, he won the Mumbai Press Club Journalist of the Year 2020. So photojournalist Danish Siddiqui, he recently died during an assignment in Afghanistan. So he was given the Journalist of the Year Award 2020 posthumously by Mumbai Press Club. So his wife Frederick Siddiqui, she received the award. So Chief Justice of India N.V. Ramana, so he presented the Red Ink Awards for Excellence in Journalism. These awards are organized by the Mumbai Press Club. And Siddiqui was given for his spectrum of investigative and impactable news photography. And senior journalist Prem Shankar Jha was given the Lifetime Achievement Award for his long and distinguished career of analytical writing. So Mumbai Press Club, they present this Red Ink Awards to recognize good investigative and feature writing and raise the bar of journalism in the country. Mumbai Press Club, it's established in 1968, headquarters is in Mumbai. So Danish Siddiqui was given the Journalist of the Year Award, Lifetime Achievement Award to Prem Shankar Jha. So please remember. So Nirmala Sitharaman, she chaired the 46th GST Council meet in Delhi. Okay, under the chairmanship of Union Finance Minister, the 46th GST Council meeting was held. So GST Council, it's a constitutional body under Article 279A. So this council will make recommendations to the union and state government issues related to GST. You know, GST was brought by the 101 Constitutional Amendment Act in 2016. It was implemented in India in 2017. So this council, GST Council, will be chaired by Union Finance Minister, and other members are the Union Ministers for Ministry of States for Finance, and also every state government minister who is related to finance or revenue or taxation. They will be part of this body. So it's a federal body where both center and state will be given equal representation, and decision of this council is taken by majority of not less than 3/4. So this is the GST Council. So every year in the month of December, in the 31st December, they do have a meeting. So the GST Secretariat is present in New Delhi. Revenue Secretary will be the ex officio secretary to this council. You know, GST we already discussed, it's a tax on goods and services sold domestically for consumption. A single rate is present across the country. France is the first in the world to implement GST. India implemented in 2017. So India defeated Sri Lanka to win the Under-19 Asia Cup 2021. So India won the match by 9 wickets through the DLS method. So India defeated Sri Lanka to win this Under-19 Asia Cricket Cup. And this is India's 9th win, and India is the most successful team in Under-19 Asia Cup. Okay. So this soon India is going to play Under-19 World Cup in West Indies. So first match between India and South Africa will be held on January 15th in Guyana country. So for this this particular Asia Cup will give a boost. So with the successful win, we will do successful journey in the Under-19 World Cup also. So ACC Under-19 Asia World Cup, it's a cricket tournament organized by the Asian Cricket Council. So first tournament was held in 1989 in Bangladesh, where India won the tournament. The Asian Cricket Council, established in 1983. The current president is Jay Shah. It is headquartered in Colombo. Its main activity is to promote and develop the sport of cricket in Asia. Okay. So next, Quinton de Kock. So he's a South African wicket-keeper batsman. He announced retirement from Test cricket. So his announcement comes just after South Africa's defeat with India. India won the first test match in the 3-match series. Okay, so to spend more time with his family, so Quinton announced a retirement because they are expecting their first child in the coming days. So next, New Zealand's Ross Taylor, he announced a retirement from international cricket. Okay, so Taylor will be appearing in the second test against Bangladesh, and Taylor is the first cricketer to play more than 100 matches in New Zealand in all 3 formats. So he announced retirement. So DRDO celebrates the 64th Foundation Day on January 1st, 2022. Okay, so DRDO was established way back in 1958 with 10 labs to enhance the research work in defense sector. At that time, it was tasked with designing and developing cutting-edge defense technologies for the armed forces. Today, with a network of 52 labs, they are working in various fields. They are developing defense technologies across various fields like aeronautics, armaments, electronics, land combat engineering, life sciences, material, missiles, naval tech systems, and all these things. So DRDO is India's largest, most diverse research organization. So it was established in 1958, headquarters is in New Delhi, chairman is Satish Reddy, so please remember. So first electric boat built for Kochi water metro project by the Kochi shipyard was launched recently. So in Kerala, the first battery powered electric boat developed for Kochi water metro project was handed over to the Kochi Metro Rail Limited. So it's a fully air conditioned boat which is among the 23 boats which are built by Kochi shipyard at a cost of 747 crores. So this Kochi water metro system has total 78 ferries, 78 boats linking 38 terminals spread over 76 route kilometers. So this battery operated boat can carry nearly 100 passengers. Okay, so this is about the Kochi water metro project. Like how do we have road transport, water, rail transport? So in Kochi we are bringing this water transport system. So these beautiful stylish ferries, they will carry the passengers across these routes. So Kerala, it is present in Kerala. So Kerala Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan, Governor Arif Muhammad Khan. So finally, Jawaharlal Nehru Road in Sikkim was renamed as Narendra Modi Mark. Okay, so a newly constructed second road linking the Songmo Lake and Nathula border with Gangtok was renamed as Narendra Modi Mark. So this was officially inaugurated. This road was inaugurated by Governor of Sikkim, Ganga Prasad. The older road was called Jawaharlal Nehru Road. The new road is now named after our Prime Minister Narendra Modi. So this road was constructed by Border Road Organization. This road will reduce the time between, kilometers between Gangtok and Nathula border by 15 kilometers. So it is present in Sikkim. So Sikkim Governor Ganga Prasad, Chief Minister Prem Singh Tamang. Okay, so let's quickly revise all the important current affairs. So 100-day reading campaign which was launched by Dharmendra Pradhan is called Padhe Bharat. Major Dhyan Chand Sports University to be constructed in Meerut. So 19 tranche of electoral bonds will be issued by State Bank of India. World's largest metro line was opened in Shanghai, China. China has brought out a 5-year plan to become a hub of world robotics innovation. Odisha has brought digital life certificate for pensioners. Jhansi railway station is now called Lakshmibai railway station. Vinay Kumar Tripathi is the CEO and chairman of Railway Board. Baldev Prakash is the MD CEO of Jammu and Kashmir Bank. VS Patania is the Director General of Indian Coast Guard. SBI Card Services and Paytm have tied for card tokenization. RBI extended the deadline of periodic KYC update by March 21st, 2022. So GST collection in December 2021 is 1.29 lakh crores. Tech Mahindra acquires 100% stake in Ellis India and Green Investments. LIC, GIC, Life Insurance, General Insurance, New India are domestic systematically important insurers. They are too big to fail, okay, or fall. So LIC brought DigiZone to sell policies online. Danish Siddiqui won the Mumbai Press Club's Journalist of the Year Award 2020. Nirmala Sitharaman, Union Finance Minister, chaired the 46th GST Council which was held in Delhi. India won the Under-19 Asia Cup title. Quinton de Kock of South Africa announced a retirement from Test cricket. Ross Taylor of New Zealand announced retirement from international cricket. DRDO celebrates the 64th Foundation Day on January 1st, and Cochin Shipyard, they have handed over the first electric boat built for the Kochi Water Metro project. Jawaharlal Nehru Road is renamed as Narendra Modi Marg in Sikkim, which connects the Gangtok capital with Nathula Pass. So these are all the current affairs for today. So please subscribe our YouTube channel, like and share our videos, join the Telegram channel, answer the MCQs at 7 PM in our Telegram channel, and download the Career Power Hyderabad app Every Monday we have fresh batches for bank, SSC, RRB as well as for rail SI constable. So do contact the numbers on the screen or you can visit the branch. Thank you students, we'll meet in the next class.